on creating jobs, on bringing down the cost of living, securing the border in a responsible way, and being tough on America's adversaries, I'm all for it. Now,
I spent weeks telling people that he was apocalyptic. I'm not going to change now.
Yeah, I mean, well, you get paid a lot of money to do that. You know, why would you change now? I mean, you built your brand around that. You can't change that in overnight. That's what you had to tell the producers when they came and told you, hey, listen, we're going to tone it down about Trump because the country has spoken and they kind of don't like all this woke stuff anymore, so we're going to tone it down. And you probably had to tell them, like, well, if I tone it down overnight, my followers, you know, the people, whoever, I'm sure she has something else she's selling on the other side. They're going to say, you know, whoa, you flip-flop way too fast. They're going to notice, you know, so can you just let me kind of lean into it? So we already know. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I just get so tired of these people. I really do. But this is Ana Navarro. So we already know. We saw this clip before. But, you know, Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, you know, they're going to talk about the view melting down and all of this chaos and all this confusion, unnecessary confusion. I mean, it really is. You know, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Not treating every single thing like
I think that's when we lose credibility.
What is the best way to move forward if you find yourself either on the broad left or someone who just doesn't agree with the idea of Donald Trump leading this country again? Do you find ways to work with the incoming administration, or do you try to fight the administration every step of the way? Well, the ladies at The View have differing opinions on this. You just heard from Alyssa Farah Griffin, who thinks that, well, there are some areas where I agree with Trump. Maybe we can look to the positives here. Others disagree. Let's take a look.
I'm going to wait and see. He's not been sworn in yet. I'm somebody who probably agrees with 75% of his policies. If he focuses on creating jobs, on bringing down the cost of living, securing the border in a responsible way, and being tough on America's adversaries, I'm all for it. It doesn't mean we're not going to call balls and strikes when he does things that are beyond the pale or he uses words that are offensive to people. Then be ready to call that out. But I just think I'm kind of shying away from this sort of apocalyptic. It's all we need to be like losing sleep over it. The American system of government is strong. It's held. There are checks and balances, even if my party's in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And I think we should I root for America, so I root for a smart, serious Donald Trump presidency, and I root for pushback when he doesn't do things that are smart.
I think all those things are great to dream about.
Well, Whoopi clearly does not think that Donald Trump will do the right thing in his second term, you know, for good reason. I mean, you look at the way he led the country in his first term, and he was divisive. He did.
She doesn't even believe that whole he was divisive. She can't possibly. Y'all were divisive. I have clips of Ana who was saying, if you voted for Trump, you're stupid. Y'all were divisive. He wasn't divisive. He wasn't. I fell for a lot of these tactics with CNN, the good people on both sides. That didn't happen. You know, he condemned the neo-Nazi. Like, it's just ridiculous. You guys were divisive. So you need to take accountability for what you did, Ana. You cannot sit here and act like that you know, I'm sorry, that 4 years of Trump, I mean, did I miss something here? By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you so much for every eye that lands all these videos. Did I miss something here with that first 4 years of Trump? That, because, you know, and then they told me that I was going to get deported to Africa if Trump became president. That was for the first term. Like, what the heck? People are crazy. They didn't say that. TYT didn't say it, but I'm saying there were people saying that craziness.
Create a lot of conflict in this country, but you know, there's a possibility that, you know, with the diversity of thought in his upcoming administration, things could be a little different. Ana Navarro, who was, by the way, lifelong Republican, disagrees.
What I'm saying is I have no false expectations that at 78 he's going to all of a sudden turn into another human being. And I'm not going to I spent weeks telling people that he was apocalyptic. I'm not going to change now because it's still the same man.
Not treating every single thing like
I think that's when we lose credibility.
Well, here's the thing. You lose credibility in many different ways. If you don't know what you're talking about and you accuse him of something, then they're going to blow it back. That's why I say we need to wait and see exactly what you're going to do.
So there is one Democratic lawmaker in the House who intends to work alongside Trump officials in order to accomplish some of the goals that progressives have. We're going to get to that in just a second, but before we do, Cenk, what do you think about this conflict that's playing out? Because I feel like this resonates with I think it resonates with us, right? Because, I mean, Trump won, Republicans have won both chambers of Congress, and so we have two options. You either fight every step of the way.
Before Cenk answers that, let me just tell you something. The way how the media is controlled, you have to really be careful. I mean, even yes, in YouTube, yes. The Republicans won all branches, like all three branches, as far as, the executive branch and, the Senate and Congress, right? And because the judicial branch, you can't win that. So anyway, I didn't hear anybody crying about that. Where were the protests, right? Influencing is a very powerful tool. And let's keep it real. People have audiences, right? And there's a lot of things that people keep out from their audience that they don't want to say because they want to sway somebody's thought one way. Over here, we speak the inconvenient truth. We're not going to agree about everything all the time. But you have to have integrity. It is my responsibility to anybody watching, even if it was one person watching, to give you the inconvenient truth about a lot of stuff. I do think it's odd how everybody's ready to just be happy about Trump. I do. I saw it happening 2 weeks before he got elected. Hey, I'm here for the content too, but I'm not going to keep that out. I'm not going to keep that out. So let's go back.
Or try to find some silver linings.
Good news, I have the answers.
Okay.
Okay, so first, let me say what I agree and disagree with those guys on. Elizabeth Griffin says she agrees with 75% of Trump's agenda. I don't. So, but if you're coming at it from her perspective, I understand why she says that. Look, let him cook on that 75% I agree with, right? So now we're in a different camp, and Whoopi and Navarro, et cetera, are in a different camp. But we're also not in their camp. When part of the clip we didn't show you, Whoopi Goldberg was talking about how he's a misogynist and a racist, and she doesn't really want to hear anything else. And that's her perspective, and you can't question her perspective, right? So I think that's too much. And I'll tell you what I think about that in a second. But at least I agreed with Whoopi for the first time in a long time, where she said, "Well, let's wait and see what he does, so we could respond to reality rather than respond to our." Worst fears and expectations. And so, all right, good, level-headed there, in my opinion. Ana Navarro, look, I feel mixed about what she's saying too. She said, look, I thought it would be apocalyptic, and I'm not going to change and say that it's not going to be apocalyptic. And that's a principled position that I could respect. Do I think it's going to be, do I agree with her that it's going to be apocalyptic? No, I'm within that range, at least I'm in the Whoopi camp. But hold on, let's see. Why? Okay, so now this is important. You have to separate out the past and the future, okay? In the past, has Donald Trump done and said things that were racist and sexist and misogynistic? Abso-frickin-lutely, okay? So now you want to disagree about that, we can go back and have those old fights if you want, right? But that's not the question at hand. So it's part of the question, does he have those instincts? I think he does have those instincts, right? But the real question is he going to act on those instincts? And so, well, what would prevent him from acting on those instincts if he was unpopular? Why? Because he likes being popular. So now, is that going to be enough? I don't know. You
guys are so emotional. The way you guys speak is really emotional because he likes being popular. Yes, he does have an ego. And that ego actually saved this country for those 4 years. Unfortunately, in my very honest opinion, my very honest assessment, I think that ego was not enough this time. I think that ego, unfortunately, has answered to some people that I personally wouldn't want him to answer to. I don't want any foreign nation involved in our country's decision-making process. But we have that. It does happen. It's simple. It does happen. I want America for America. That's what I want. Donald Trump's donors are not only for America. It is what it is. It's the truth. It's the truth that they won't say on The View, okay? If this was Haiti, I would say there's too many Haitian lobbyists, right? The Israel lobby is a very tough lobby. And I see where Trump is answering to them when it comes to things like hate speech laws, Yes, this is America. That First Amendment is not for speech that you hate, or excuse me, that you love. It's for speech that you hate. That's always been my principle. Even when I was on the so-called left, they told me Alex Jones was a white supremacist. Yay, we took him off in the internet. I said, please, they need to put that man right back on the internet. He has every right to speak just like I do, just like anybody else. He, of course, was not a white supremacist, but you see what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't want any other foreign country getting us involved in their dealings around the globe where our troops are being sent to do things that does not benefit America, right? We've done it already before. Going into Iraq, everything, that did not benefit us, because if it did, why are we still concerned about terrorists today, okay? There's a lot going on in this world that we are funding, and as taxpayers, we should not be funding. Like what's happening in Palestine, a genocide, we funded that. I'm not with that. I'm not. So wait and see. I have no choice but to wait and see. I'm not sitting here being doom and gloom. I'm just giving you the inconvenient truth that a lot of people won't, especially people on the so-called right. They won't say what I just said. They won't. There's no reason not to say it. There's no reason not to say it. I thought this is about America, right? Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. Anyway, we know how it goes on The View. They're still gonna, Anna, she got to do her thing. She's, she said, look, she said she has bills to pay. And, if she starts flip-flopping immediately like that, they're going to know, like, you're a fraud. We just bought the coffees or whatever she's probably selling, I'm sure. There's something. She's like, I can't just move away from my brand that fast. I respect it. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.